Yo, welcome back to another episode of Raid Shadow Legends. Today, we're gonna talk about Orc Faction Wars 21. For those of you who have a difficulty going through, let's get into it. The Orc faction has been updated for year 2023 with more champions in the index. Let's quickly go through and see what kind of champions that we can bring. Okay. So very quickly, starting from the rares. If your roster is not stacked enough and you have a Wyvern Bane, you can choose to bring her. She has a weak source decrease A1 on her A1, yep. So and then she also brings a decrease per meter, although it's booked up to a 50% chance on her A2. And then she has a 100% chance to land the HP burn, although it's a 4-turn cooldown, but it's very good for a rare. This is very useful, particular for the boss. Okay. The next choice you can bring for a rare is Veteran. So he has a decreased attack, a strong version of the decreased attack on the A1. Okay, books up to 50% chance. This is very good to mitigate the damage that the boss will deal to your team. And he also plays the crit rate buff on all allies for 3 turns if he kills an enemy, which is very hard to achieve when you're fighting the boss, unless this guy kills the side ads. Okay. Next, on the A3, you'll place a block buff on all enemies, booked up to 60% chance. It's quite good. Also brings a speed aura, but it's for dungeons. We won't be using for faction wars. That's about it for the rares. Now let's move on to the epics. For Orc faction, there are quite a number of very strong epics as well that you can bring. So, number 1, Mr. Duck the Pierce. If you have him, he is very good for this skill, his A2. Alright, puts a decreased attack and decreased speed, 100% chance at a 3-turn cooldown, which is very powerful against the boss. Okay, so that means you'll be mitigating the damage, and then you also doing more damage to the boss at the same time. Has a provoke on maybe 2 or 3 random enemies on the A3. Okay, this is good in controlling the waves, and also puts up a reflect damage and unkillable buff on himself. But you have to be careful when you're using this skill against the boss, because you do not want the boss to steal the unkillable and the reflect damage. Brings a very good aura for everybody for Faction Crypts, which will increase everyone's defense by 31%. Okay. The next guy, Old Hermit York. I think that's how you pronounce his name. York. I'll go with York. Anyways, we want to use him for the A1 that will land a HP burn by chance, booked up to 40% chance, but still very viable. And he will increase everybody's attack and fill their turn meter by 20%, which is very, very solid. It's a strong version of increased attack. And he also brings a revive, which is a 2 random allies, but this might help you 3-star the Faction Wars 21 as usual. Okay. Next guy you can bring is obviously Tagore, the new champion. I think he also brings a revive. Yep. So the A1, he also places an increased defense on an ally with the lowest hit point. Okay. The A2 will attack everybody and decrease their speed. Increase speed on everybody. Okay, and also heals them by this champion's max hit point, which is very, very solid. That means you can build these champions hit point by a lot, stacking up the hit point. Okay, brings an AoE revive, easy. This guy will just carry you through the Faction Wars 21. See, because he also has a very powerful passive, obviously, which will decrease the damage. Okay, let's go through all the supports first. If you don't have these champions, obviously you can go with Vrask. Vrask is a very popular healer. I think it's no stranger to all of you. Whenever this guy does his crits damage, crits on his attacks, he will just heal everybody. This is his money shot passive that will heal all allies by 10% of this champion's max hit point. So it doesn't matter how much damage that he does, it just matters how much hit point that he has, and then he just crit with 100% crit rate. That's all you need to do. Okay, brings a strong aura, but it's only applicable for dungeons. Okay, that's all for the support in the epic category. I would not recommend you to use Sandlash Survivor because of this passive. Okay, this passive is strong everywhere else in the game, but not against the boss, because we do not know when this passive will proc. We cannot control this passive. If it procs at the wrong time, the ally protection sticks to everyone and the boss can steal it. That's not good. So I would not recommend you to bring Sandlash Survivor, although she is a very, very strong champion. Okay. Next, in the ultimate category, where are all the damage coming from? Number one on the list is not Seer, it's Mr. 2-Hack. Mr. 2-Hack the Wanderer. What is so good about him? His A1 has a chance to increase the cooldown, of one of the target skill. This one is okay against the waves. You will not be doing this against the boss. But this one is a very powerful AoE hit, which will decrease speed on the waves. That's one. And also decrease speed on the boss, which is very, very important, because the boss also have a HP exchange skill which have 12 turns cooldown, which is very, very annoying to deal with. Okay, this skill also plays an increased speed on himself for 2 turns and heals himself if he have less than 50 hit point when attacking. So this is also one of his money shot. Clever Brutality, A3, 4 turn cooldown, books to a 75% chance to steal the target's turn meter, which is very powerful against the boss. You can basically slow the boss down by a mile. Okay, the stun you will not be landing on the boss, no problem. So if this guy is under 50% hit point, he will steal the entire turn meter. What is there to be said about this champion, right? So he also have his own style of damage mitigation, which will decrease the damage taken by 20% when he is below 60% hit point, which is absolutely nuts. Okay, if you don't have 2-Hack, the next guy you can bring is actually Ultimate Galar, which will do the similar thing in decreasing turn meter. The A1 is whatever, it can land HP burn, but he has a condition that he needs to be in increased attack buff in order to proc his HP burns. Okay, so this is one of his strong skill. The A2 has a chance to land the HP burn if this champion is under increased attack buff. Okay, so it also decreased the target's turn meter by 25%. Okay, and the A3 will attack everybody, which will land the HP burn if this champion is under increased attack buff. But if you can have you can bring someone like Old Hermin York that increase attack, it's no problem using this guy, obviously. So the passive is whatever, we won't be getting stunned. Okay, The next good attacker is actually Zagala. Zagala is one of the very strong epic nukers, even in arena. The A1 brings a solid, strong version of a weaken. Okay. Let's start with the A3. The A3 will attack everybody 3 times and has a solid chance of, books up to 75% chance of landing decreased defense on all enemies. Okay. So the A2 will complement the A3. If this single target hit kills one enemy, it will instantly activate the A3. Okay. Very, very strong. Brings an increased ally attack, ally accuracy aura for all battles, which is very, very good. Now let's move on to the legendary category. Obviously, the Orcs legendary champions are very, very strong in damage dealing. Okay. One of the good example is Roba. This guy hits like a truck, man. Seriously. The A1 is whatever, place a stun, that's fine. What we want is his crazy AoE skill that will do a lot of damage to the waves. If this is used against the boss, obviously it will land the decreased defense. Okay, another AoE on his A3. This guy is all about AoE all day long. Okay. Obviously he will bring a good accuracy aura to the Faction Crypts. Nothing much need to be said about Roba, one of the strongest hitting nukers in the game. Another guy is Kingarook. Kingarook also has a chance to stun, which is very good against the waves. So this is particularly strong against the boss because it's a single target hit, which have very strong multipliers. Okay. This is an AoE hit, which will ignore the target's defense by 20%, and additional defense will be ignored for each buff on the target, which is absolutely crazy. Okay. Also has a crazy passive which increase this champion's speed and crit damage by 7%. Okay. It can stack up to 30 speed and 35% crit damage. Absolutely nuts. Okay. Okay, so Pila. The next will be Pila. Went from 0 to hero, just like that. Now, okay, how is she strong for this faction wars or anywhere else in the game, right? So has a chance to steal random buff on the A1, which is okay, decent. Okay, now her A2 is very powerful. Not only it lands 100% chance of HP burn on everybody, it also gives continuous heal on all allies, which is crazy powerful against the boss because you need a lot of healing against the boss, especially when you're not bringing a reviver. Alright, so the A3 will basically increase or extend the HP burn by 1 turn. Also plays a leech, which will help with the survivability, especially for your nukers. They heal a lot from nuking the boss. Alright, brings a resistant aura for all battles by 50. Very, very solid Pila Gourmet. How about her sister the Creela? One of the most powerful ally attack champions in the entire game. Why? The A1 will put up a shield, although it looks like not much, but sometimes it's useful for survivability. Especially Orcs, they are strong in attack, but they are quite squishy. Okay, so the A2 will be her money shot, which is going to place a stun, has a chance to place a stun for one enemy, and then it will start the ally attack with 3 random allies, which is very powerful in killing the boss. If you have her, you obviously can use her. Okay. Also buffs everybody with a strong version of increased attack, and then increased crit rate for everybody, and then she'll attack everyone, which is very, very strong. Although she is categorized as a support champion, but her multipliers are quite strong. It's based on attack and it hits really quite hard for a support champion. Okay, so obviously if you have Warlord, you can choose to use Warlord, but be careful when you are, sorry, not this one, using the A2. The A2 is a block debuff, which is very good against the boss, but be careful, you have to time it before the boss steals it. That's all. Okay, Raka is the relatively new reviver for this faction. Back then, 10 years ago, old Hermit Yord was the only reviver, and we have to be using like brass or something to heal to clear this Faction Wars 21. Now if you have Raka, very solid reviver. Everything about her is heal and revive and heal again and revive and whatever. That's what she does. Okay, A1 has a heal, so this is a cleanse on a A2, very good. That places increased attack and shield buff on all allies, very powerful. AoE revive, no problem. This is what's gonna get you to 3-star Faction Wars 21. Also have a very strong passive, just basically fills turn meter, which means everyone's gonna be faster, and also have a passive effect, going to place a continuous heal on the ally with the lowest hit point for 2 turns. Very solid void support champ. So having said that, let's see what are the team that we can use to clear this Faction Wars 21. Over here, I'm assuming that your roster again is not stacked. I'm just going to use maybe Vrask. Just maybe gonna use Vrask to keep my team healing. So over here you can see I have 2 level 50 champions. Okay, I have 2 hack, and I also have old Hermit York and Dr. Pierce for some debuffs to keep myself alive and doing a lot more damage. Let's see if we can clear the Faction Wars with this team. It's gonna be relatively slow because I got like 2 champs under at level 50, I should say. So wave 1 is relatively easy. Since I have attack up on Galar, just gonna use his A3. So actually here Galar, I'm using him in a toxic set. So he'll be doing HP burn and toxic at the same time, and some poison at the same time. I always confuse poison and toxic, they all look the same. Anyways, yeah. So the A2 for Ultimate Galar will just place increase attack on himself, no problem. Okay. Ideally for Vrask, wow, that is very strong. How did I die? I didn't even notice. Anyways, for Vrask, if you have a Creela, or for the ally attack, Vrask is gonna heal a lot more, because basically he is attacking again. It's crazy good, no problem. So just increase attack, decrease. Oof, very strong. I mean, if you fail the run, you can just start again, right? 2 hack is gonna kill everybody because that A2 is so powerful, hits really hard. So this strategy basically revolves around placing the HP burn on the boss, which I will show later, no problem. Let me just go through the waves. Okay, we want to save all the big hits for the boss again. Alright, so we are at the boss again. The boss is going to use this when he takes a turn, which will basically transfer all his debuff to your team, and steal all the buffs from your team to himself. Okay, very oppressive skill. Also has a backup skill to heal himself by exchanging his low hit point with one of your teammates. Again, very nasty. But if you can kill him fast enough, he might not even use this skill. Okay, so at the first turn, we don't want to have any buffs. Just go in like this. This is where you have to be careful when you're using Duck the Pierce, because if you use his A3 on the wrong time, the boss will just steal his unkillable and reflect damage, which we do not want to. Okay, let's just let the boss take his turn, then we will start our counter attack. Here we go. Nothing stolen. Okay. Now we start our counter attack. Decreased attack is so good on this champion. On this boss, sorry. Okay, lands the burn. Perfect. Okay, gonna decrease everybody's speed. So if you're using 2 hack, you have to monitor the turn meter itself of the boss. If the turn meter goes too high, try to use his A3 instead, so that we can buy time for ourselves basically. So again, let's kill the side ads because they are very, very annoying. The decreased attack is coming in clutch. Did not land the burn, no problem. Okay, there's no point stealing a turn meter now. Oops, get a fear. Okay, I have 2 turns to do this. Okay, let's do this. See, we just decrease the turn meter, easy. That will buy us some time to run out of our buffs. Okay. Alright. So here our strategy basically is to try to slow down the boss. Although I know we're gonna do some HP burn, he has to take a turn. But then again, we want him to die when he takes a turn. That's our ultimate goal. See, we are unfortunate. He took a health swap right there. No problem, we're just gonna catch up. All the side ads are dead. Also take note of the skill. He's at 1 turn cooldown. We don't want to have any buffs for the boss to steal, which is not good for us. Okay. Going to let the boss take 1 turn, then we will start our counter attack. There we go. Decrease speed on. Okay. Increase attack on everybody. Let's repeat the cycle again. Relatively easy. So for every faction wars, the accuracy needed to land debuffs on the boss is basically 220 to 250 or higher if you can afford. Basically that's the sweet spot of accuracy. There we go again. We're just gonna kill this boss easily. So yep. So it's actually not really hard to do this. Okay, there are much worse faction wars out there. So as you can see, we're just gonna comfortably win this. There you go. Okay, one of the decent difficulty of a faction wars out there. So let's go over the gear quickly and the masteries I have. Okay, let's start with 2 hack. 2 hack is in 100% crit cap, good attack, decent-ish crit damage. I didn't put him in a crit damage glove, it's fine. He is going to serve the purpose of just doing the faction wars for me daily. I'm not really using him anywhere else. Gone full mastery on him, obviously, for accuracy 3, on the accuracy 3 and health smasher. Okay, next is a duck. Duck in a two set perception to boost his accuracy, and one speed set. Decent-ish speed, good defense and hit point for Faction Wars 21. Not really a lot of masteries. You can go down the accuracy tree for more accuracy if you're using for the Faction Wars. Okay. Next is a level 50 Galar, Ultimate Galar. Okay, however you pronounce the name. Obviously, if you manage to 6-star or level 60 Ultimate Galar, you can go around all the way to War Master, and some debuffing masteries would be enough. But he does need to be crit capped in order for his A2 to work well. He does need to crit cap, decent accuracy for this Faction Wars. Next is our healer, Mr. Birask. He has to be crit cap as well. Obviously, if you can, try to stack up his hit point. He heals based off 10% of his hit point. Doesn't matter how much damage that he does. Okay, you just need him to heal and heal and heal. So the masteries, I went for the offense tree. If you manage to 6-star him, just go for the... Actually, you can just go down here for the Elixir of Life for the healing masteries. Or you can just go for War Master. Either one is fine for this champion. Okay. The final guy is Old Hermit Yorig in Immortal and Regen set. Basically quite fast. Good hit point, good defense. Don't really have a lot of accuracy. His job is basically to heal everybody, increase attack and revive if required. As you can see, went down the support tree down to Timely Intervention. Timely Intervention is one of the best masteries for a reviver. Don't have much on the offense tree. Okay, so that's all for the Orc faction. Hope you guys clear it and get Lydia the Death Siren soon enough. I will see you guys on the next one.